fix one of these 4 elements that I'm going to talk to you about in this video, I promise you your next presentation will be twice as effective. Hey friend, Parastu here. You're probably new in this channel, so nice meeting you. In this channel, I talk about presentation, speaking, and leadership, or anything that will get you the presence that you need. With that being said, let's dive into the video. Now let's talk about presentation. What is a presentation exactly? When there are slides, when there are people who are listening to you, when you just want to practice in your own home, when does it count as a presentation? Well, in my opinion, whenever you are talking to 2 or 3 or more people, that counts as a presentation. Doesn't matter if you have slides, doesn't matter if you're sitting or if you're standing on a stage, doesn't matter if it's a workplace, it doesn't matter. Whenever you are talking towards 2 or more people, that counts as a presentation, which has 4 different elements. The first element is the speaker. Duh. The speaker is you, the person delivering the message. And probably one of the most obvious ways that you can tell a presentation is happening is when you think there's a speaker. So if you talk about a speaker, you might think that there's going to be a presentation. It's one of the most obvious parts of a speaking and presentation activity. And the second element is audience. Audience is the people that you are presenting to, or your listeners. So if you're practicing at home, if you're practicing your presentation or speaking activity and you do not actually have audience, that doesn't count as a presentation because you are just talking to yourself as your practice, but the practice is not complete because there are no audience. Audience is a fundamental part of a speaking activity. The third one is the content. Content is the structure and the substance of your message. You're a speaker, you've got some audience and you want to give them a message. And the content is the substance and the structure of that message. And the fourth element, probably the most underrated element of a speaking activity, is the environment. So the environment is the virtual or the physical space that your speaking or presentation activity is happening within. Could be in Zoom, could be in Google Meet, could be in a studio, could be on a stadium. Where is that even happening? So whenever you think about a presentation, you think about these 4 elements that is shaping the entire presentation experience for your audience. Is the speaker, is the audience, is the content, and it's the environment. Let's go a little bit deeper into each of these. Starting with the speaker. Probably one of the biggest mistakes of any presentation is that people are super focused on themselves. Am I coming across as confident? Am I showing credibility? Is my voice coming across? Am I articulate enough? Oh, what was the next point I wanted to talk about? Oh, am I running out of time? Can people tell that I'm really scared and I'm really terrified of being in front of them? That's one of the biggest mistakes. And honestly, I don't blame people for doing it because if you go to a presentation class, if you go to a communication class, most of the stuff that are being taught is all about the speaker. Like, where should I raise my voice? Where should I talk a little bit slower? Where should I bring this point? How many points should I have? How should I start? How should I finish? What should I do? Everything is around how should I behave as a speaker when it comes to presentation. But we have 3 other elements. We've got the audience, we've got the content, and we've got the environment. And being super focused on the speaker part is not really helping us as speakers and as being presenters. We have to get this point straight. What is the point of a presentation? I have a message. I have something I want to share. I need to talk to some people so that they understand what I'm saying and I can get them on board. The point of a presentation is not to show off. The point of a presentation is not to show other people that I'm a know-it-all. The goal of a presentation is not to be arrogant and tell other people that I'm great. If you do that, you will lose the connection with the audience. The point of a presentation is to get your point across, get your message across, and communicate it with the audience in a meaningful way. So if you have that mindset, you will not be super focused on yourself whenever you are giving a presentation because you are not the point. They are the point. They have to get it. And this brings us to the second point, being the audience. And the biggest mistake that people make here is that they are so fixated on what they want to say rather than what the audience want to hear. The first and the second point are heavily tied back to each other because people are super focused on themselves. They do not care about the audience. They're not reading the cues. They're not understanding that people are bored, that people are tired, that people are hungry. They just keep going and going without addressing those points. So people are super focused on what they want to say rather than what the audience would like to hear. And remember, for every word you are saying in your presentation, the audience is asking themselves, what's in it for me? What the hell is in it for me? Why should I listen to you? And if you do not address that with every part of your presentation, you've lost them. And if you lose your audience in a presentation, you might as well not even present. Because you are not the point here. Winning the audience is the goal. Moving on to the third part, being the content, the biggest mistake is that people just do not have structure in whatever they are talking about. They are not thinking in framework. They have not bullet points in their head. They are going on and rambling without really having a structure. Whereas you should have an intro, you should have a body, and then you should have an outro. How do you start your presentation? How do you bring the main points across? And how do you wrap it up? And if you just do that without giving so much data, so much rambling, so much going around, you have to make it in a way that people can follow your train of thought and the point that you are getting to. If the point that you're trying to get to is here, in your presentation, you're creating multiple highways in order for the audience to get to that conclusion or to get your message. And just by going everywhere around, like touching this a little bit, touching that a little bit, people will not find their way into the outcome and the goal and the message you want to get across to them. So make a plan for yourself, make a map. How do I want to help the audience to get to the final point that I'm trying to make? And now let's talk about the environment, the most underrated part of a presentation. The environment is where you're actually speaking in. And this probably happens in the most professional ones, or not even very, very professional, but if you just want to have a talk or a presentation at your work, a lot of people don't get familiarized with the environment that they're going to present in. And because of this unfamiliarity, the brain signals that this is a big danger, and this will enable a lot of fear and stressful activity in your presentation. So what happens here is that a lot of people ignore the logistics. How do I connect the cables together? Is this projector even going to work with my laptop? Oh, if I lose my USB or if I lose my laptop with my presentation in it, where the hell am I going to get it? Arrive really, really late without really understanding how is this environment that I'm going to proceed in. One of the best advice I've received within the environment factor is that a mentor of mine told me, if you're going to give a big presentation in a specific hall or in a specific room, go there one day before, go there 2 days before, just to get yourself familiarized and for your brain to start imagining that you are going to have a presentation there. And get this, your brain most of the time doesn't understand the difference between what you're imagining and what is actually happening. So if your brain can already see that you're presenting there and as a confident person and as a person who knows everything that is going to happen in this space, it's not going to signal danger to you. And when it doesn't signal danger to you, you do not go into fight and flight mode and you will not get stressed. Not being familiar with the logistics and the environment of the place that people want to present in is one of the biggest reasons why people get scared and terrified when they want to present. Because things go wrong, they're not prepared, and these are all signals for danger for your brain. So I urge you, for your next presentation, don't only think about yourself, how you can stand better, how you can talk better, how you can present better. Think about the 4 elements I just talked to you about: the speaker, the audience, the content, and the environment. If you do a little bit better in each of these 4, your presentation will be twice as effective.